Have you ever heard the saying, the luck of the Irish? This phrase is said to date back to the 19th century gold rush in the United States, as many of the successful miners were Irish immigrants working hard to make their fortune. Hello everyone, I'm Kathleen Pelly. Welcome to Journey with Story. Since we celebrate a big Irish holiday this month, St. Patrick's Day, today's story is a lovely tale from Ireland, all about some friends who share a lot of good luck. This story might remind you of another tale from our podcast, so listen closely and see if you can tell which one. Before we begin, be sure and take a look at our website, www.journeywithstory.com, where you can purchase our very own Journey with Story t-shirts and our special Journey with Story colouring books. Now, let's take a journey with the lucky friends. Long ago, there lived a very poor man who had a daughter called Kathleen. Kathleen wanted to help her father, so she decided to try her luck in the world. She packed a few scraps of food in a basket and set off down the road. Before long, she met an ass who was stuck in a bog. "Help me out or I shall drown," cried the ass. Kathleen threw some big stones into the bog, and the ass climbed out. "Thank you," he said. "I am lucky you came along. Take me with you. Who knows what luck we may have together." They walked on until they came to a village where a group of boys were chasing a dog. "Help! Save me!" cried the dog. Kathleen took the dog in her arms, and the ass brayed so loudly he frightened the boys away. "How lucky you came along," said the dog. "I shall stay with you." So Kathleen and the two friends walked on. At midday they stopped to eat. Kathleen took bread and meat from her basket to share with the dog, while the ass chewed a bunch of thistles. As they ate, along came a starved-looking cat. "Feed me or I shall die," she cried. Kathleen shared what little food was left. "How lucky we met," said the cat. "I shall stay with you." And so Kathleen and her friends continued on their way. As evening fell, a fox trotted across the lane before them with a black cockerel in its mouth. "Help me or I shall be eaten," cried the cockerel in great distress. The dog ran up and barked so fiercely at the fox that it dropped the cockerel and ran away. Kathleen sat the cockerel on the ass's back, and they all went on together. When the sun set, the companions looked for somewhere to sleep. Nearby stood a lonely house with candlelight at the windows. From inside came the sound of singing and wild laughter. Kathleen led the friends to the window and they peeped inside. 6 robbers were eating a fine feast. "Ah, this heap of gold that we stole from the Lord of Dunleavin will make us all rich," said one of the robbers, and the others laughed and cheered. "Let's announce our arrival," whispered Kathleen. The ass put his hooves up on the windowsill and the dog jumped onto his back. Then the cat climbed onto the dog and the cockerel flew up onto the cat. And when Kathleen gave the sign, they all sung out like mad, rolling, bellowing, barking, meowing, and crowing cock-a-doodle-doo. The robbers jumped up in terror. They dropped their food and ran out of the back door and away into the woods. Kathleen and her friends went inside and finished off the feast. and they blew out the candles and settled down to sleep. When all was quiet, one of the robbers returned to fetch the gold they'd left behind. However, in the dark, he trod on the cat, who scratched him with her claws. Then he tumbled over the dog, who bit him hard. Then he ran outside and was pecked by the cockerel, and when he staggered into the barn, the ass kicked him onto the dung heap. So off he ran, empty-handed. Next day, Kathleen and her friends returned the stolen gold to the Lord of Dunlaven, who was so pleased that he offered them all a home at his castle. The ass found a place in the stable, the dog by the fireside, the cat in the kitchen, and the cockerel in the yard. And when Kathleen fetched her father to share their good luck, all were as happy as could be. Well, they were very lucky, weren't they? What's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you? And who's the luckiest person you know? That might be a fun discussion to have tonight over the dinner table. Oh, can you tell me what other story this reminded you of? Yes, there's another folktale from Germany called the Bremen Town Musicians. It's episode 58 on Journey with Story. You might want to take a listen now and decide which version you like best. Cheerio then. Join me next time for Journey with Story. Music and post-production was by Colette Jonas.